Welcome to Expert Viewpoints, Introductory Thoughts on Server-Side JavaScript and Node.js. In this video, we will hear from several application development professionals discussing working with server-side JavaScript and Node.js.
The wonderful thing about using Node.js as your backend language is it's the same as your front-end language. So it makes it easier kind of to context switch between writing for the front end and then writing for the back end. You can have the same developer as basically writing both. I mean, a lot of developers know multiple languages, but this way, if you've got someone very strong at JavaScript, all that knowledge will pay off in both the front end and the back end. And you can also use the same code scanning and code testing for the front-end JavaScript as for the back-end JavaScript. So that and like the dependency security scanning and all of that, both the front end and the back end are going to be using NPM, the node package management, for the dependencies. And that way you've got kind of a unified approach to dependencies and packages.
I think the most obvious appeal of using Node.js, at least for full stack developers, is that you get to use the same language client-side and server-side. So if you're a new developer, that's one less language you have to learn. And even if you're not, it can be nice to minimize the differences when context switching between front-end and back-end development. Another benefit is actually the community surrounding Node.js. I think on the most recent Stack Overflow survey, it was being used by over 50% of professional developers, and that's really reflected in the wealth of learning resources and support that are available to you.
So if you are a front-end developer, if you understand JavaScript, then picking up backend using a framework like Node.js is not that much of a stretch. I actually started building static websites and then slowly learned how to put in dynamic content using JavaScript, and then I had to use Java or PHP to build my backend systems on the server. And there's a little bit of a context switch when you're doing that. With Node.js, the cool thing is you're using JavaScript on the front end and you're using JavaScript on the back end as well. So there's a little bit less of a context switch. It's easy to switch between working with services on the back end and then going to your website and putting in some JavaScript. The one thing that I did find a little bit odd at first was the single-threaded nature of Node.js and everything relying on callbacks. So asynchronous programming using callbacks is a little bit of a twist with Node.js, but it's a matter of getting used to that. The one thing I did like was the abundance of packages in registries like NPM for you to be able to use in your applications.
Key benefit of using Node.js is faster processing. It can handle concurrent requests faster than any other server-side languages. Node.js is a popular choice for online gaming, chats, video conferences, or any solution that requires constantly updated data. It is easier to learn Node.js if one already has a good grasp on JavaScript. Developers can write both front-end and back-end in JavaScript using a runtime environment. There is no need for separate front-end and back-end developers in this case.
So JavaScript is obviously the de facto standard for client-side web development, and so it quite naturally makes sense to allow JavaScript developers to leverage those skills on the server side, and that's where Node.js fits in nicely. The big deal with Node.js is its architecture, as it offers a rather unique single-threaded, asynchronous, event-oriented architecture that enables it to handle a very large number of concurrent connections. Think hundreds of thousands of concurrent connections. Node.js is built on top of Google's Chrome JavaScript engine, V8 engine. Parsing JSON is blazingly fast because JSON is a native data type in JavaScript. And Node.js also fits very nicely into the adoption of microservices, since each microservice is dedicated to, one or a small number of cohesive services and is inherently, therefore, limited in scope.